Hi, today I would like to share a model with you called the Polarity Management model. It was first developed by a man named Barry Johnson back in the early 90s, I believe. And I'm going to give you a very quick, abbreviated version of this model. I have found it tremendously useful in my own life, in all aspects of my life for the last 5 years. Um, and I think that you will too. But I did want to say this model and the thinking and the science behind it, there are now entire elements of degrees. You can almost get degrees in the field of polarity management. So recognize that there's a lot of depth to this. There are a lot of people who have put thought into this. And let me get now to the model. So I'm gonna pretty much jump right in and put a model on your screen for you to use. What I would like to say in the beginning is that this model came about because, as Barry will describe in some of his literature, if you Google that, because much of our upbringing as humans is around problem solving, and we learn very much that problems have an either or solution, and that's certainly the case for many problems. But the more we work in teams, the more we work with groups of great complexity, many organizations, we learn that many of the problems are not either or solutions. They're in fact a combination or a both and solution where we're taking several things into account. So so that is the purpose of the model. And I'm going to put it on your screen now, and I think it will make a lot more sense once we get into it. Okay, so before you get too overwhelmed by what you're looking at, this model, the poles, or the poles that we are trying to manage in this example, are on the left and right side of the model: inhale and exhale. So we are, if you were trying to say, in order to live, I need to either inhale or either exhale, then obviously that would be wrong. The answer is that we need both. We need a both and solution. So unlike many of the either or problems that exist, this breathing is not. Breathing is a both and solution. And if you follow the model with me, it'll all start to make sense if it doesn't already. So what I'd like you to do before we even start is take a deep breath in and hold it for 10 seconds. So take a deep breath in, everybody. Deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release that big gasp of air, release, and then hold that for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, breathe normally. Get your breath back if you need to. But I wanted to, as easy as simple as the idea of breathing is, I wanted us all to be reminded of that feeling when we're at the top of we have a full breath and we can't hold it much longer, or we've let it all out and we need to take another breath. I wanted you to have a very vivid, fresh memory of that, because that's the essence of this model. If you follow me to the top left, we take a big breath in, we inhale, just as far as the model goes. We take a big breath in, we inhale. That's the positive side of the inhale pole. So I take a breath in and it feels reviving, it feels life-giving, it feels good. But after 10, 20, 30 seconds, I start to feel that I have too much carbon dioxide. And that, as you see, is the bottom left of the pole. That is the downside of over-focusing on the inhale side of the pole. So I let out the air, and that takes me up to the top right, and I've let out all the carbon dioxide, and that feels great. At first, it's refreshing. But if I hold that for 10, 15, 20 seconds, I very quickly realize I've over-focused on the exhale side of the pole, and I better take in some oxygen. So I repeat the cycle. I take in breath, and it takes me to the other side of the pole again. I think you follow me. I think it makes a lot of sense. And if we were just to move on without acknowledging the profoundness of that simplicity, then we would be in error. So the idea here is that that focusing too long on either pole takes us into the negative side of over focusing, where we start to go into the disadvantages of that. And then focusing on the other side takes us into the negative again. And it's just a cycle. I wanted to leave you with a couple of things. One, my own personal experiences now everywhere in life. I mean, it's actually kind of a sickness, but everywhere in life, I'm constantly looking at poles. I'm constantly looking at things with the lens of looking for the both and in solutions. And it has brought, I mean, besides driving me crazy in some cases, it has really brought wonder to my way of seeing things, and I feel like helped me navigate problems in a different way. And then as business people, I wanted to share with you some of the main polarities that we see most common with businesses. Things like centralization, decentralization, things like standardization, specification, or being specialized, sorry, standardization, specialization, independence or interdependence, and then things like control or influence. Those are four of the most common polarities that we see. And my invitation to you is to, this model might be a little bit confusing, but just think of it as over focusing on one brings you to the other. And so the idea is to find a nice cadence and balance of the both and solution. Thank you.